In the most secure prison in America, nothing is simple, not even a meal. Inside ADX Florence, food is more than breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's a controlled system, a schedule, and a reminder that every part of life here is designed for one purpose: absolute security. From a locked kitchen deep inside the facility, to steel doors that never open fully, to inmates who eat every meal alone inside concrete cells. This is the story of how food moves through the most isolated prison in the United States, step by step, tray by tray. Inside the Supermax they call the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Now let's get started. Deep inside the fortress of ADX Florence, far beyond the razor wire and reinforced concrete, lies a part of the prison that few ever think about: the kitchen. It's a place without sunlight, without noise, and without any of the movement you would expect from a normal food service area. Here, everything is controlled, measured, and secured with the same precision used in every corner of America's toughest federal prison. The day begins early. Before the inmates wake, before the housing units unlock for officer movement, food service workers and staff step into a space built for efficiency and order. Rows of stainless steel counters line the room. Industrial ovens hum quietly as they heat trays by the dozens. Every ingredient, from vegetables to bread to pre-cooked proteins, is logged, stored, counted, and recounted. Nothing leaves this room unnoticed. Unlike ordinary prisons, the ADX kitchen isn't simply preparing meals. It's preparing secure meals. Each tray follows strict Bureau of Prisons guidelines for nutrition, portion size, and cost per inmate. A standard menu might include rice, beans, vegetables, casseroles, fruit, or bread. For inmates with restrictions, staff prepare vegetarian trays, religious diet meals, and heart-healthy portions. Every substitution must match the inmate's file exactly. No mistakes allowed in a place like this. As the trays begin to fill the long counters, a second team of staff monitors the workflow. They check the temperature logs, inspect the seals, and confirm the counts. Each tray is placed in a specific slot on a rolling meal cart, creating a mapped pattern that officers will later follow when delivering food through cell doors. Even the direction in which trays are stacked is intentional. This system is designed to prevent confusion, reduce handling time, and limit any direct contact between staff and inmates. By mid-morning, the kitchen transforms from a preparation space into a staging area. Officers enter in pairs, verifying clearances as they approach the carts. They inspect each row of trays and sign paperwork, confirming that the meals match the day's approved menu. Once the checks are complete, the carts are locked and sealed at the base, a physical barrier ensuring nothing is removed or added before delivery. The kitchen door opens only after radio confirmation from a control room. A buzz echoes through the hall, and a reinforced gate pulls back slowly. The carts roll out, guided by officers who move with calm precision. This moment marks the start of a carefully choreographed journey, from the kitchen through multiple security checkpoints toward the isolated housing units where inmates in the Supermax will receive their meals. Inside ADX Florence, even something as routine as lunch is part of a system built to minimize movement, reduce risk, and maintain absolute control. In this world of concrete, steel, and silence, the kitchen isn't just a place where food is prepared, it is a critical piece of the institution's security structure, the beginning of a process that shapes the rhythm of daily life in America's most secure prison. The journey from the ADX kitchen to the inmate ranges is not a simple walk. It's a controlled movement through some of the most secure corridors in the federal system, a path built to ensure that nothing, not even a meal cart, travels without oversight. At ADX Florence, every door, every gate, and every turn has a purpose. Once the meal carts are sealed and signed for, officers receive radio clearance from the control center. The radio call is short, calm, and procedural, but it begins a chain of movements that must unfold with absolute precision. A metallic buzz echoes across the kitchen exit as the first security door releases. The officers step forward, hands steady on the cart handles, moving out of the kitchen and into the main corridor, a hallway lined with reinforced walls, overhead cameras, and steel doors thicker than a book. This part of the prison is quiet. It feels still, almost suspended, as if the entire facility is holding its breath. Footsteps and the soft rolling of the cart wheels become the only sounds. Officers are trained to move at a steady pace. Not rushed, not slow, but deliberate. In a Supermax, predictability is part of the safety strategy. As they travel deeper, they approach the first of several sally ports, controlled gateways that separate one secure zone from another. A sally port is simple in design, but strict in function. One door opens only after the previous door has fully closed. There is no moment when both doors stand open. This prevents unsecure movement and ensures complete control of every transition. The officers stop. The cart comes to a full halt. A brief check-in with the control center confirms identity, direction, and purpose. Meal delivery to the designated housing unit. Only then does the inner door release with another buzz, followed by the heavy clank of locking bolts shifting into place. Inside the sally port, the space is narrow and brightly lit. Cameras watch every angle. Officers wait patiently until the second door opens, leading them into the next section of the corridor. The routine repeats at each barrier: verify, move, pause, confirm. This pattern is the architecture of ADX, layers upon layers of controlled access, reducing risk at every point. As the carts roll closer to the housing blocks, the environment changes subtly. The halls become more fortified, the windows fewer, the lighting more focused. Even though the inmates are locked behind solid doors far ahead, officers maintain full awareness. Movement inside ADX is a discipline. It relies not only on equipment and locks, but on the mindset of the staff who navigate its structure every day. Soon the team approaches the final transition point, the entrance to a cell block range. Another pause, another identity check. The officers wait for the green signal from the control room. When the automated lock shifts, the door opens into a long, quiet corridor lined with steel cell doors. This is where the next phase begins, tray by tray, cell by cell, delivering meals to inmates who live almost entirely in isolation. The journey from the kitchen is complete, but the process, shaped by layers of security and silent precision, is only halfway finished. What comes next is one of the most defining routines inside ADX Florence: the delivery of meals into the most restricted living spaces in the federal system. At ADX Florence, the final step of the meal journey is also one of the most unique aspects of life inside America's most secure prison, the cell door slot system. Unlike conventional prisons with dining halls, here every meal arrives directly to the inmate's cell. The steel doors are thick, reinforced, and unyielding. A small, rectangular slot, about the size of a sheet of paper, allows trays to pass through, maintaining the separation between staff and inmate at all times. The officers arrive with their carts, stopping at the first cell in the range. Each tray has been counted, verified, and matched to an individual inmate. One by one, trays are slid through the slot. Inmates reach through the narrow opening to retrieve their meal, a quiet, controlled exchange that takes only a few seconds but marks one of the few interactions of the day. Meals inside ADX are standardized but mindful of dietary needs. The Bureau of Prisons ensures that vegetarian, religious, and heart-healthy options are available. Each tray contains the items listed in the official menu: a portion of protein, a side of vegetables or legumes, bread, fruit, and a dessert or snack. The portion size is modest, designed for nutritional sufficiency without excess. Commissary items, if available to the inmate, may supplement these trays, but the core meal is prepared in the kitchen and delivered through the slot. For the inmates, receiving a meal is both routine and significant. The delivery marks the rhythm of the day: breakfast in the morning, lunch around midday, and dinner in the evening. In a world dominated by concrete, steel, and isolation, a simple tray of food becomes a tangible signal of time passing. It is also one of the few moments when a human presence, even indirect, enters the solitary cell. The procedure emphasizes security above all. Officers never fully open cell doors. Contact is minimal. The tray passes through the slot, and the door remains locked immediately after. This method prevents incidents while allowing the inmate to maintain their daily sustenance. Every movement is observed, documented, and checked against the roster. Any deviation from the procedure triggers alerts, ensuring the strict control that defines ADX Florence. As the delivery continues down the corridor, the repetitive rhythm of sliding trays through slots creates an almost meditative cadence. The officers move silently, methodically, while inmates eat alone, each in their own reinforced cell. This system, developed for maximum security, also reinforces isolation. Meals are a solitary experience, a stark contrast to the social dining that exists in less secure prisons. By the time the last tray is delivered, the meal service concludes. Officers collect empty trays later, following the same protocol, reinforcing the cycle of order, control, and precision. For the inmates of ADX Florence, food is essential, but it is also a part of the security structure, a reminder that every aspect of life in the Supermax is regulated, from the floor plan to the very meals they eat. In the world of ADX Florence, the food slot system is more than a delivery method. It is a window into the rhythm of life inside America's most isolated prison, a glimpse of daily survival within walls designed for maximum security and minimum human contact. Inside ADX Florence, once the tray passes through the steel slot, the inmate begins the quiet, solitary ritual of eating. Each cell is roughly 7 by 12 feet, constructed entirely of concrete and steel, with minimal furnishings: a bed, a desk, a toilet sink combination, and a narrow window that lets in a sliver of natural light. Here, in this confined space, meals become one of the few markers of daily life, a reminder that the day continues even in extreme isolation. Inmates eat alone. There are no communal tables, no casual conversation, and no opportunity for social dining. The meal, simple yet sufficient, is placed on the small desk or bed, and the inmate eats quietly. Standard trays follow the Bureau of Prisons menu: a portion of protein, a vegetable or legume, rice or potatoes, bread, fruit, and sometimes a small dessert. Vegetarian, heart-healthy, and religious diet options are respected, with the kitchen preparing these variations in advance. In this environment, every meal is predictable, consistent, and controlled, a reflection of the prison's overarching philosophy of order and security. Beyond the official meals, inmates may have access to the commissary, a small but important addition to daily life. Commissary items include shelf-stable foods such as canned tuna, crackers, peanut butter, Vienna sausages, and packaged snacks. These purchases allow inmates to add variety to their otherwise standardized trays. However, commissary privileges come with strict limits, including monthly spending caps and approved items only, maintaining the facility's control over what enters the cells. Eating at ADX is also intertwined with routine. Meals arrive at scheduled times: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, providing a rhythm to an otherwise static and isolated life. For inmates, receiving a tray is a momentary point of focus, a brief interaction with the outside world, and a chance to exercise small personal choice within a highly regulated system. Even the timing of meals is meticulously documented, reflecting the prison's emphasis on structure and security. While meals themselves are not elaborate, they serve as a window into life inside ADX Florence. Nutrition, timing, and procedure are intertwined with isolation, creating a daily experience unlike any other federal prison. The cell becomes a space for survival, reflection, and observation, where each tray is a quiet reminder of the environment outside the concrete walls. After eating, inmates typically remain in the cell for the remainder of the day. Trays are collected later, following the same slot delivery procedure. The cells, now empty of food but still confined, reflect the relentless order of life inside the Supermax. Even the act of eating, something ordinary in most of the world, is shaped by security, isolation, and routine. In this environment, food is both sustenance and structure. It marks the passage of time, supports survival, and reinforces the controlled rhythm of life at ADX Florence. Meals are more than nourishment. They are a measure of life behind the most secure walls in the federal system. In the isolated world of ADX Florence, every detail of daily life is structured, controlled, and measured, and food is no exception. While meals may seem ordinary on the surface, protein, vegetables, bread, fruit, within the concrete walls of the Supermax, they carry significance far beyond nourishment. They mark the rhythm of the day, provide small moments of agency, and reflect the rigid order that defines life in one of America's most secure prisons. Inmates eat alone in cells designed for minimal human contact. The steel slot in the cell door is their only interface with the outside during mealtime. For many, this ritual becomes a central point of focus, the moment when an otherwise monotonous day is punctuated by something tangible. Even a simple piece of bread or a spoonful of beans is a reminder that, despite isolation, life continues in measured steps. The strict routine of meal delivery, with its precise timing and unwavering procedures, reinforces the overall philosophy of ADX Florence: predictability, control, and security. Meals are not casual. They're a structured element in a day dominated by confinement. In this environment, the timing, preparation, and presentation of food are all part of the broader system of order that governs every aspect of an inmate's existence. Commissary items, though limited, offer another layer of significance. For those who can access it, the ability to supplement a meal with crackers, tuna, or other items provides a rare sense of choice, a small, personal addition to an otherwise highly regulated life. Even these minor selections are governed by strict rules, spending caps, and item restrictions, maintaining security while offering minimal autonomy. Food also carries its psychological weight. In a prison designed to isolate and minimize contact, meals are one of the few structured moments that connect the inmate to the rhythm of the outside world. The arrival of a tray signals time passing, the cycle of the day, and an undeniable sense of routine. In such extreme isolation, these routines provide structure, stability, and predictability, which are crucial to mental survival. While ADX Florence is known for its Supermax security, the role of food in this environment illustrates a different form of control, one that is subtle yet pervasive. Nutrition, timing, and procedure shape experience as much as bars and walls. Every tray, every bite, every interaction through the cell slot reinforces a system that leaves no aspect of life unmonitored. Ultimately, food at ADX Florence is more than sustenance. It is a reflection of the balance between survival and control, order and isolation. Inmates navigate the Supermax one tray at a time, each meal reinforcing the rhythms and routines that define life inside the most secure federal prison in the United States. Meals are mundane to outsiders, but inside ADX Florence, they tell a story of structure, isolation, and the subtle ways routine shapes life behind concrete and steel. Life inside ADX Florence is defined by structure, control, and isolation, and even something as simple as a meal reflects that reality. From the kitchen to the corridors through the cell door slots, and into the quiet confinement of each cell, food shapes the rhythm of a day in the Supermax. While meals may appear ordinary, here they serve as markers of time, small moments of routine, and reminders of the highly controlled environment in which inmates live. The delivery of a tray, the timing of each meal, and even the limited options available all tell a story about the design, philosophy, and purpose of America's most secure prison. Understanding life at ADX Florence, from the meals to the routines that govern daily life, offers a rare glimpse into a system built for absolute security and minimal contact. It's a world where every detail, no matter how small, has meaning, and even a simple tray of food becomes a reflection of the isolation, order, and discipline that define life inside the Supermax. If you enjoyed this deep look inside ADX Florence, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more real, inside stories from America's prisons. Your support helps us bring accurate, documentary-style content straight to your screen.